guys, today we have got another studio tour for you, and we'll probably have another one for you in a couple of months time because we are moving studios, and I wanted to take this opportunity to document the studio space because it was a wonderful studio space to work in. But if you guys watch my studio vlogs, you will know that we're not really utilising the floor space. It's quite expensive and it's extremely dark. That's one of the main reasons. It's really dark in here because it's so big. So I wanted to give you a tour of my little Etsy business and what we do here, and give you a tour around the studio. This space is messy. We haven't really cleaned it up, so this is kind of what it just naturally looks like in its normal state. So let's get into the tour, shall we? So as you walk into the studio, we've got a coat rack over here, and then we've got rubbish that was just dumped on the floor that we've been meaning to take off for a long time, so we'll just ignore that. And then we'll move on to this section. So this section was kind of a bit of an odd space. We have like a sofa over here, and over here is kind of our shipping area where we do all the shipping. Just got snot in my mouth. And the handling, so usually Mike puts it over here, he puts it on the scales, he puts orders over here, he puts them on the scales, and then we have all our shipping bags kind of just shoved under. We haven't found a good storage solution for that, but we have got a good storage solution for it in the new studio. Then moving further down, we have some more desk space, and we also just have tons and tons of boxes filled with plushie toys. We also have another worktop bench which we don't really use, and it's currently just used for dumping a load of storage on. So over here is kind of where we sit and enjoy the really miserable view out of the sea at the minute, but usually it can be a nice day. I don't know, it's really nice to sit here. We all have our dinner and just look out to the sea. This is one thing I'm probably going to miss about this studio, is the wonderful sea view. Now we have a small window coming in our new studio which does show a sea view at the side. The one thing I find really weird about the studio is it's got such large windows, yet it's still incredibly dark because this is kind of north facing, so the sun actually rises and sets at the back of the building, and this is the front of the building. So we don't get a lot of light here, surprisingly. But behind us over here is the kitchen area, and we actually just kind of hodgepodge this all together, and we put a few different things in, and you might have seen this in my studio vlog. I tried to make it look aesthetic, but one thing we will be doing is getting rid of this kitchen space, because where our new studio is, there's a kitchen right next to the entrance door with an actual sink and everything. So at the minute we have a pile of pots, selectable bucket for, and then we have to walk to the kitchen and clean all of the pots, so it's not very efficient. So let's move round to the actual packing and shipping area. So over here Mike has been working away on the orders. This is the Mac that we use to go onto Etsy, and we find all our orders and we kind of just pack here. Mike's got this spongy floor pad on the floor to help his knees. Do you think it helps you, Mike?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's meant to be like helping your knees and joints and everything.
It's nice on your tootsies as well.
Nice on your tootsies. Where all the kind of packaging and stuff happens, and we actually have a workbench all the way around, so that if we're having busy periods we can all kind of fit in here and ship and pack and everything. We also have further over here all our stickers kind of laid out, so we haven't really found a good solution for this. I did actually buy these shoe racks, this shoe rack storage, but we found that it wasn't very convenient to pull in and out of. It's not very sturdy, it's not very safe. I think it was kind of a safety hazard. It looked aesthetically pleasing, but it didn't really work well with the heavy sticker baskets that we've got. So we've kind of just put envelopes and stuff on there, so it makes it really accessible and really quick to get hold of. And I think this works, doesn't it, Mike? This having them all here to hand, because originally they were all kind of shoved underneath like it is now, and Mike had to keep bending down and getting stuff, whereas having it accessible, it makes the productivity go up and increase. So that's just this area. Over here is just kind of the area where we cut gift wrap, and we've got like a fake little lemon tree, and that's it really. Another spare bench for someone to work on. But behind me over here is our pin shelf, and I haven't got new enamel pins in for such a long time, but I promise I'm going to get some more in soon. This was actually custom built, so it was like a really cheap racking from Argos, and we installed some more narrow shelves so that the pins fit perfectly, and we use these cardboard storage systems to put them all in. We just put a pin on the front, and then that means you can just kind of take them out, but everything looks a mess at the minute. Over here we've got the shelves where we keep our beanies and our plushies and all big items. So this was actually free. It was left in the office and we ended up using it because you can actually shut it and you can actually lock it. So we ended up getting it in. It's not the best solution, to be honest. We won't be taking this into the new studio, and it's also very, very heavy, but we used it because it was free. So over here is where all the random stuff is, where all our products are. It's really, really unorganised. I cannot wait to get into the new studio space because we've got a lot more racking, and I can't wait to really neatly organise it, because at the minute we've just kind of been dumping things in there. And we've got our washi tapes, we've got our notepads, we've got our greeting cards, and then we've got a load of mess at the bottom that I don't want you to look at because it's super messy. And yeah, this is just where our products are. And what we found is there's actually a really big gap from here to the computer, so Mike has to keep walking backwards and forwards to get products every single day, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So we're hoping to do something that makes it like the products a little bit more accessible in the new studio. This is one thing about this room. We actually found it decreased productivity because things are so spread out, whereas when we had the smaller studios, everything was quite close and really to hand, so you could kind of like grab all the orders really, really quickly. So this is just where we keep all our storage. I actually installed these two lights very haphazardly to the shelves because this area is so dark, and so is the back of the studio, which we'll kind of whiz around now. So this is Dean's desk, and we also have these greeting card racks and these bookmark racks that I've created. I just put a piece of cardboard in these and slotted my bookmarks in. We haven't filled them up, but we actually think these will be really, really great for conventions, so we can take them to conventions when we finally do them again, and we can put all our products on them. But for now, they're just used as a place to store our products and everything. And we also have some crickets and stuff that are no longer in use on this shelf that we've just dumped. Another dumping ground shelf, so it's kind of like the rubbish drawer you have at home but in the studio, so we're like all that. So over here is a little market square area. It's where our heat presses are, it's where our printers are, and it's where we actually manufacture some of our products. So we do mouse mats, coasters and mugs, which I'll show you in the baby blue section, which is just behind you in a second. And I had some grand ideas for here. We were going to do a wall mural here which had shops on, sorry that's a printer going, which had some shops on and stuff, but we ended up not doing that because I ended up not actually liking the studio. And as you can see, it's pretty dark in this area. I've actually had to install some lamps in the corner just to brighten it up. Let me show you how dark it is. This area, as you can see, is super dark and was really, really miserable, so I had to install some lights to try and brighten the place up, which is one of the reasons I'm actually moving out of here. So let's flip behind you and see the baby blue area. So for those of you who don't know, I actually run a second Etsy business called Baby Blue, where we do ultrasound prints and things catered towards parents to be. It is a different demographic and niche to Katnipp, and originally actually started on Katnipp, and when I started to evaluate what I wanted out of Katnipp and where it was going with all the cute characters, I realised that Baby Blue didn't really fit in, so I actually split them off, split the items off and created a brand new business. And Dean, actually my husband, runs this side of things. So you can see we've got a mug press over here, he prints coasters, and we've got this big long workbench which is also kind of a dumping ground as well. So, moving on to the piece de resistance, which is my favourite part of the studio. You might have seen this in my vlogs or TikTok if you've never seen me before. But this, my friends, is the Katnipp Cottage, or the Katnipp Cafe, we originally called it. And this was meant to be part of the marketplace where we had the shops with our characters in on the side. And then this kind of came round to where I work. So I created a little nook and got this actually custom built for me by some local joiners. and painted it because Mike and Dean have the aircon on, super cold, and I was always freezing. And also it's very noisy in the studio, so I made this cute little space. We've got sunny up there as well in the sky, but I created this cute little space for me to work in, and this is definitely the best part of this studio tour. So this is basically where I work day to day. I'm literally in here, kind of hovered over my computer the majority of the time. This is where I create, I illustrate, I photograph. I'm currently photographing this beautiful gift that I got off a friend called Sarah Tepes, and it literally is so amazing. I love working in here, but as you can probably tell, it's quite bright, but we have no natural daylight in here. So what I've ended up doing is I put one of these SAD lamps, so seasonal affective disorder lamps, in, which really helps. It feels like there's a little window here. We've got this really bright fluorescent bulb up here, and as you can see, it's quite short. I'm 5'8", and it's not like a tall room, but I like really small cozy spaces. And then we've got our photography set up right here, and I kind of just sit here. I enjoy illustrating. I've actually moved things around a little bit. We've got my little art cart here with my planner stickers, because I love planning in my journal. We've got all my sticker collection, we've got my highlighters, my pencils, and this was just a place for me to sit down, get creative and edit and do all the behind the scenes and make it a fun working environment, because that's one thing that I really love as a person and a business owner, having a lovely working environment, because at the end of the day you're at work for like half of your life, if not more. So why not make it, if you can and have the facilities to, into a beautiful space for you to enjoy. So this is the Katnipp cottage. So that is basically it for this studio tour. It has been about a year and a half have we been in here, something like that, a year and a half-ish, and we have enjoyed it, but I am looking forward to going to the newer space. The newer space is in the same building as this, but it's half the price, and it's much more compact and it's much more brighter, and I think we'll also be able to lay out the room much better than how we've laid out this room. This room was a little bit of a weird layout. There was too much floor space, and I think maybe in the future we'll have to increase again, but for now I feel like I'm making the right step, and I'm also really happy to finally have a bright studio space. But I wanted to document this journey because we don't actually know what we're going to do with the Katnipp cottage yet. We don't know if we're going to take this and try and put it into the new space or what, so we'll soon find out. If you want to keep watching the journey, I post weekly studio vlogs and days in the life of a small business owner where I am actually working actively in the studio. So if you would want to check them out, definitely subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alright then, thanks so much for watching. I love you. Bye.